I would recommend Arch over every other Arch derivative at any point in time, because all it takes for you to install Arch is just go to Arch Wiki, type how to install Arch. You will get one page of a series of commands that you're going to type, and you will get a fairly easy time in installing, because most of it is just copy pasting. It's really not hard. While copy pasting these commands, you will be reading the same Arch install wiki page, which is going to explain every command. Okay, actually, let me just show it to you. This is the guide, right? Acquire installation image. Verify signature, not important. Pacman, not important. Prepare installation medium. So you will prepare the installation medium the way you always prepare the Linux installation medium. You're going to flash it to any size USB flash drive, because it only takes a couple of, maybe 100 megabytes. It's really small. So once you prepare the installation medium, this is done exact same way with any other Linux distribution. Boot it up. When you boot it up, you will get a command line interface, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to go through this. Actually, do you all, there is 13 of you on stream. Do you want me to install Arch Linux, like literally right now? I'm pretty sure I have Arch on this disk drive here. Let's give it a go. Rebooting laptop. Press the button F12 on ThinkPad in order to change the boot medium. Entering boot menu. USB hard drive. Let's see if we have Arch installer here. Yes, we do. Arch from December. There is one newer from January, but that does not really matter. Let's boot in normal mode. Let's move my camera out of the way. UEFI with speech. We don't need that. Let's go with the first option. So what this is going to do, this is going to boot the base operating system. And then, actually I lied. It's not 100 megabytes, it's 1 gigabyte in size. I lied. It was an accident. Okay, so now we need installer. We need install instructions somehow on this screen. Okay, I'm doing a lot of juggling here with my screens. So what I am going to do now is move my laptop. I just want to explain what happened here on screen. The right side of the screen is the left side of the HDMI out from my laptop on which we are installing Arch Linux. The left side of the stream is my stream PC with the web browser from which we are going to copy paste commands so that I can show you the level of how difficult or easy this is. Boot live environment. Set the console keyboard layout. Locale. List keymaps and grep. There is no Croat. Okay, we need Croat keyboard because that's mine. If you're using English one, then you can skip this step entirely. Load keys, Croat. Okay, so now we can type Croatish keys, which we don't really need. Set font. There 132b 132b with a dash. Nice. Okay, so the installer is already the install instructions already knows that we are doing a live stream, and they have already told us which font to use in order to make it more readable on your screen. Verify the boot mode. Okay, we already know that we have booted in UEFI mode, but that's me who knows this. Let's type what it says. Firmware FE firmware platform size 64. So it is in UEFI mode. IP link, yeah, okay. Ping. We can ping the internet. Yeah, everything works. So let's just skip all this. Ping archlinux.org. This works as well. So DNS works. Update the system clock. Time, date, okay, it is pretty much in sync with the universal time zone. So that's, I guess, okay, but it's sync with UTC and not my time zone, which is something we can fix later. Fdisk. Okay, so first things first. This says to use fdisk to partition your hard drive, but I have easier hack for you. Use fdisk. This is just listing the disks. So what we have here, can you see it? No, you can see my mouse. Basically, it says that our SSD device is called dev NVMe 0 and 1, and we are going to access it with fdisk because this is a graphical install. Dev NVMe 0 and 1, and we have a couple of partitions here. Basically, what you will want to do here is prepare all of the same partitions as we already have right now. So in theory, I should not remove any of these, but let's just pretend that we are deleting everything. And now we have nothing on our hard drive anymore. And now we will go with new partition. Let's make it 1 gigabyte. This is overkill for FE partition. We can make it a lot smaller, but just make one for UEFI. One for the swap. Let's go with 10 gigs for the swap file, and the rest we can just go with the rest of our file system, right? So with the 10 gig partition, we want this to be a type of Linux swap. It doesn't have to be 10 gigabytes. Pick your own swap file, whatever you want. And for the first one, it needs to be FE partition. So this is FE system here. This is what you need to do. You need to have one FE partition, maximum 1 gigabyte. Swap file, whatever you want, and Linux file system, however you want it to be in size. So let's type yes, and let's quit. So now when you go back to fdisk application, you will see the same that I did because we have saved the partition table to the hard drive. So let's continue. Example layouts. They are offering some example layouts, but I have already shown you my own layouts. Format the partitions. Okay, so what we need to do, if you see the, what is it here? This is our system partition. This is swap, and this is FE. So we need to format the system partition first. mkfs ext for dev NVMe 0 and 1 P3. Okay, this is our system partition formatted. Trident says hi. If I don't want new partition, keep my existing partition at home. You can keep your partitions existing and your existing home, but if you have two partitions, one system and one home, then you can simply not partition anything, but you will probably want to format your system partition because that's where you're installing the new system, and just don't touch the home partition. Basically, that's it. Swap partition, make swap dev NVMe 0 partition. Which one was it? Partition 2. No. Partition NVMe 0 and 1 partition 2. That was swap. Okay. So so for FE partition, we need to make it a fat partition. Make first dot fat minus f 32. I'm just copy pasting dev NVMe 0 and 1 partition 1. I have a typo. Sorry, I have had a typo. Now it's fine. We have formatted all three partitions. Okay, now we need to mount it. Twan says, I'm new to Linux distros. Why do some folks prefer Arch as opposed to, say, Ubuntu? If you are new to Linux distros, then the answer might not be particularly satisfactory, but usually new Linux users tend to go with a distribution that will install itself and be easier for onboarding, while Arch Linux is usually preferred by people who want the latest packages. That is my opinion, because that's how I went from Debian to Ubuntu to Arch. This was kind of my voyage. There was much more distributions in between, but I spent most time on Debian and Ubuntu, and I switched to Arch this year because I wanted to have the latest packages. That's pretty much the reason why I use Arch, and it's pretty easy to use once you get it running. What we need to do next is mount it. Okay, mount dev root partition NVMe N1 partition 3 /mnt. Okay. For UEFI system, mount the FE partition. Let's do that. Mount minus mkdir. mkdir dev FE system partition is NVMe 0 and 1 partition 1 /mnt/boot. Okay. You need to enable the swap partition. Swap on dev NVMe 0 and 1 partition 2. That's it. So we have activated swap. Now there is a mirror selection, install essential packages. Okay, so let's go with this essential packages. Pacstrap -k /monitor. This is the destination where our the monitor. Actually, let me show it to you. When you go differ, you can see the mounted stuff. So if you go to the on the bottom, you will see /monitor is my third partition. This is my system partition mounted in my current monitor partition, and my current monitor partition is what I'm using through the installer. I'm not sure if I explain it correctly, but let's go with pacstrap. Pacstrap will download stuff that is going to copy the essential stuff to your system partition. So we need base, we need kernel, and we need firmware. Okay, while this is being pulled from the internet, open source Fiddler, I want the latest packages, so I use OpenSuse and compile everything I need from Git. That is perfectly acceptable way for an experienced Linux user to use their own system. And Twan says thank you. Twan, don't hesitate to put more questions in chat. I feel very happy to answer whatever I am able to answer. Carl says, is swap necessary for all computers regardless of the amount of RAM installed? The answer is no. You don't need to have swap partition or swap at all. However, the way Linux behaves by default is that it will take stuff from your RAM which it considers currently unnecessary, and it will move it to swap just because it can, and just because it has detected that you haven't been using some of the data in your RAM for a while, and it will move it to swap, and it will free up some of your RAM, so you will have more RAM available for your running stuff while not being while not having your RAM full. For example, you have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and for example, you use 10 gigs of your RAM, and at one point you will have the system will take like 4 gigabytes from your RAM, and it will just move it to swap because it will see that you don't really need it, and then you will have like 8 gigabytes of free RAM because some of it has moved to swap. So having swap might be good for overall performance. However, this counterintuitive it may sound. Also, if you haven't made swap partition in the installation, you can add a swap file after the installation, so it's not all doom and gloom if you forget or if you don't do it. The next step, CPU microcode updates, AMD ucode, Intel ucode for hardware bugs and security fixes. This is really important. User space utilities. Okay, let's install some of those. Well, we could have done that immediately, but it is what it is. I have an Intel CPU. Software necessary for networking, NetworkManager. Let's see this. NetworkManager with the package NetworkManager. Okay. Let's see if we can just add this. I guess we can. Or no. This might need to be one line. I'm stuck a little bit. Var cache pacman corrupted. See if this installation will survive my tinkering. Let's skip that. Again, fstab -u /minute towards /minute edits fstab. Okay, so what we generated here is our fstab file. Let me show it to you. Nano, actually, let's do with less. Minute edits fstab. This is stuff that is going to be mounted on our, oops, not what I wanted to move. What is going to be mounted on our boot, right? So our 3 partitions. Regarding the earlier comment about OpenSuse, why would someone choose between OpenSuse and Arch? It's just a matter of preference. Well, pretty much yes. Most Linux distributions offer a relatively similar experience. The differences are in like default desktop environments or how latest the packages are and stuff similar like that. So it's not very relevant for a beginner who wants to get started with onboarding. It's just later when you learn a lot, then you might develop a kind of a taste, you know, like with wine. If you start drinking wine for the first time, it's going to taste awful, and if you start appreciating wine later, you will start to learn the differences between different types, and you know, the red wine, the white wine, and the different flavors. You just develop the the taste, if I can put it that way. But all of it's still wine, and all of it's still Linux. Arch root. Okay, we are now rooting into the actual Arch hard drive to be the future system. The time zone -sf usr share zone info. Region is Europe, Zagreb. It's local time. It's local time. Don't make a typo here. There we go. Hardware clock. Sys ohc. So we have synced the time with hardware clock. Locale gen. This needs to be generated. It's locale. We need to edit this file. Nano it's locale.conf, and we don't have nano. This is a bit problematic at this moment. Do we have VI or Vim? No. Do we have VI? We don't have VI. We don't say. Okay, let's do it blindly. Echo. I should have installed Nano during that pacstrap. So now we don't have Nano, so we can't edit files, but it's not a big deal. It's echo lang equals n us.utf utf-8, and we are going to put this into the file etc.locale.conf. There we go. So if we cut this file now, etc.locale .conf, you can see that we have filled it up with what was required. And now we need to echo keymap equals I think we need to use Croat here because that's my keymap. Sole.conf. I'm just checking it to not make any mistakes. Echo arch, by the way, into edit host name. mkinitcpio. Okay. This is easy. The chat is silent. We have 16 viewers in chat and nobody typing. That's okay. So next up, changing the root password. There we go. You could make a user, but I guess we can make a user afterwards. Why use a Nano or Vim if echo is so simple? No particular reason, I suppose. I mean, it's up to you how you wish to edit files, but if you have multiple lines to edit, you might want to use a text editor so you can see what you get. Choose and install a Linux capable bootloader. Okay, we are going to do that now. Grub. Searching for the commands that we need to do. Installation. First install the packages grub and fboot. Pacman. Can we use pacman here? Pacman. We actually can use pacman here. Okay, I was not aware of this. Installed grub. We need fboot manager. We need fboot manager. Okay. So now we have text editor as well. Mount the FE system partition, and in the remainder of this section, okay, do we have the FE partition mounted? That is a good question. We don't have it. Choose a bootloader identifier. A directory of that name will be created as FE. Okay. I will make it like this and mount the partition at its not at its dev nvme 0 0 and 1 p1. That was my FE partition, and we're going to put it in boot and FE. Or no, hold up. Cut at its what was the name? fstab. Where is FE partition? It was supposed to go to boot. Then we don't need Ramadir, let's remove that one. Okay, boot FE, let's remove that one. Why is it busy now? Unmount boot FE and remove that one and just mount /boot. Okay, now it's mounted properly. Just type mount /boot to pull from the fstab. First install packages GRUB, mount the FE partition, choose the bootloader identifier, execute the following command. Okay. GRUB install target equals x86 64-FE directory sp. That means if you're booting from the live installation environment, you need to be inside the root. We are there when running grub install. If for some reason it is necessary to run grub install from outside append boot directory, we're not going to need that option with the path. Some others cannot handle bootloader. Okay, then let's just copy paste whatever it says. Bootloader minus ID equals grub. No errors reported. Oh, it auto-created FE folder. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's what I wanted. I was just unsure if I need to create the FE folder or the FE folder will be auto-created. But we're pretty much done with GRUB at this point. FE directory. Secure boot is not needed here, and let's go back to the Arch installation. Early user space. We don't need any of this stuff. We have now exited our root environment, and we want to unmount the system partition recursively, and we can now reboot. And hopefully this will be functional. I have unmounted the future system partition, so it's pretty safe to kill the computer right now. But we will give it half a minute more so it kills itself. No, it did not kill itself. While it seemed complicated and even tedious, I like how the Arch install has so much documentation with links. Yeah, so the idea with installing Arch for the first time is not to rush it, as I'm pretty much doing right now. The idea is to basically click on most of the links that it provides for you in order to learn about what is behind all of these commands. So there is also an Arch install script which will do everything for you, but that is like an easy mode. I think I'm just gonna kill this installer now because I have no idea why is it stuck. I pressed Ctrl-Alt-Delete and pushed it to reboot and unplugged my installing hard drive. So hopefully it will boot. And it did not boot. Yeah, we screwed up. I screwed up. So, you know, the first time I was installing, I was very careful to read everything it said, and I have done it from the first attempt. So now we have an installation which needs fixing. Let's boot up into our installer and try to fix what we have broken. I could install everything from scratch, but that's uncool. It's better to fix stuff when you break them, right? USB. Let's boot up Arch Linux in default mode, So for those of you who are fairly new to the stream, the right side of the stream is my laptop here, the actual laptop on the table. And the left side is my stream PC with the Arch install instructions. Okay, let's go back to the root. Okay, or actually we need a bigger font. Where was the font? Sorry, set font there minus 132B. Okay, that's a little bit bigger. Load keys, throat. Okay, now we can skip all of these things that we have already done, and let's go to root. There we go. Arch root dev. Oh, just a minute, but we need to mount it first. Mount dev NVMe N1P3 on minute, and then we need 1 on minute /boot, and then we need swapon dev NVMe 0 and 1P2. Okay, I'm just continuing from the place where I failed the last time. Okay, now we need to arch root into minute, and now we are in our arch install. For example, nano works. File name to write none. Okay, let's see where we screwed up. Timezone is fine. This is fine. Basically, we failed to install GRUB. That's the only problem. All of this is fine. All of this is fine. We only need to fix GRUB. We need to fix GRUB. And GRUB is already installed, but not properly where it needs to be installed. UEFI firmware are not implemented consistently. The procedure described below is intended to work on a wide range UEFI system, but those experiencing problems despite applying this method are encouraged to share detailed information. EFI example. Okay, we don't need those examples. This section assumes you're installing GRUB x64, which is correct for our modern system here. First install the package GRUB. We already have these installed. Then follow the below steps to install GRUB. Mount the EFI system partition. EFI system partition is already mounted. It's mounted in /boot. Okay, so let's try again. GRUB install target equals x86 _ 64 EFI directory equals, so it says substitute ESP with its mount point, so that's literally /boot, and minus bootloader minus ID equals GRUB. So that's the exact same command I did last time, and it fails. It allows forget to generate default config after installing grub. Maybe that's what I did. Grub install from outside. Okay, so when I press this, no errors reported, and this is where I rebooted. But maybe I forgot something. After the above installation is completed, the main grub directory is located at boot grub. Okay, let's go boot grub, which is where we have our stuff. To how specify alternate location. Note that grub install also tries to create an entry in firmware boot manager named grub. I suppose this succeeded because no errors reported. This will, however, fail if your boot entries are full. Use FE boot manager to remove unnecessary entries. Remember to generate the main configuration file. So that's what I forgot as well. If you use the options removable, note FE directory are specific. Okay, generate the main configuration file. After the installation, main configuration file needs to be generated. The generation process can be influenced by a variety of options and scripts. Grub mkinitcpio -o /boot grub.cfg. I think this is the only thing that I forgot to do in my first attempt. So after installing or removing a kernel, okay, to automatically add entries for other installed operating systems. We don't need this. I think we're good. I think this is the only one command that was missing. Exit unmount /mnt reboot. Installation medium removed once again. Let's see what happens now. There we go. Grub is here. Let's just leave it to start booting. And there we go. We have installed Arch Linux. Okay. Root. Okay, so what we need at this point is desktop environment. So let's go with, let me just show you. Okay. Can we install KDE? Okay, this is the wrong mouse, not wrong mouse. Arch install KDE Plasma. I just want to show you. Arch Linux, Arch Wiki is really good, and wherever you're stuck with Arch Linux, there will be a solution on Arch Linux Wiki. What I wanted to show you is that when you go to Arch Wiki, you will see that it says install Plasma Meta package. Let's open this one, and the Plasma group. The difference between Plasma Meta and Plasma reference package group. Alternatively, for more minimal Plasma installation, install Plasma desktop package. So upstream KDE has package and setup recommendations to get a fully featured Plasma session. Okay, so we can go here, Plasma desktop meta package. Let's just see. Okay, this is really small. Plasma meta. Plasma meta package to install KDE Plasma. Plasma group. I think Plasma group will install everything, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just go with that very simple command. Arch, pacman -s and just type Plasma. 60 members. Let me just see Plasma meta. How many packages is this? Okay, this is almost nothing. Let's go with Plasma and default all, and it will ask you which. I don't think you can read this, but it's asking for the multimedia backend, and you can choose between FFmpeg and GStreamer, and I'm just gonna go with FFmpeg. And now it's asking about two providers for jack, pipewire jack. Let's go with pipewire. And now for the true type font, let's just go with the default one. On more fonts, just choose default one. And now we are going to install 529 packages because why did this not work? Pipewire best. Yeah, we are going to use Pipewire. Always had audio issues, still learn about that one. Yeah, let's see why cannot we. Is your network manager enabled? No. Do I have that installed? I might have not installed Network Manager. No, there is no IWCTL. It's capitalized as most. Okay, Network Manager, thank you. I don't have that one as well. So we are a bit stuck. So unless you have a better solution, we are going to need to boot into our installer once again and install Network Manager from there, and then go back to our actual installs. And that's the only idea that I have right now. But this is a very good school for how not to go from scratch every time and just fix your shit, right? Because when you make a problem, then you fix your problems. Reboot. I think this is actually a very good Arch install stream, because if everything worked from the very first attempt, that would either mean that I'm an Arch genius or that this is not an interesting stream, or some of the things in between. So let's fix our shit. Carl says, I agree. Yeah, this is a really this is even interesting for me. When I made a first mistake, I was a bit embarrassed, to be honest, and I was thinking about how this was a mistake. But honestly, I think this turned out slightly better than I could have planned it, just for the same reason that I mentioned previously. Set font to a big one there. 1, 2, 3B. Okay, this is a big font. Load keys strat for my keyboard. And now let's mount dev NVMe 1 partition 3 for here. And the first one goes here, and swap on. I don't think this is needed, but let's activate it. Dev NVMe 0 and 1 partition 2. Okay, and arch root into minute. Is this the full command or not? Let me just check in the Arch wiki. Swap on Arch. Yeah, this is the full command. Okay, we are here now, and we can use pacman network manager. How is it possible that there is no network manager here? Network manager. Oh, it's not it's lower caps. It's lower caps. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. Do we want pipe wire now or later? I think we can do that later because we only need networking. Right? If you agree, I will reboot once again now because we have installed network. JWatt, I am not entirely new to Arch. I have switched to Arch Linux like half a year ago, but I have only installed it twice so far with the help of the Arch Wiki on my main PC and on my laptop, and that was half a year ago, and I forgot the procedure, and I just wanted to show to everyone live on stream how easy it is to install Arch. And basically, I still claim that it is easy if you read what you're doing, but streaming and talking to people and trying to rush it and prove to everyone that I can do it almost blindly, it was a little bit of a mistake, but also it turned out to be a really good presentation on how to fix your shit when you make a mistake. Once you enable it in systemd, maybe we can we enable it right now, or let's do it later. Unplugged. JWatt, it's not about compiling in Arch Linux. That's Gentoo. Arch is pretty fast in installing packages. I'll show you. Okay. So now I know that you cannot. I know that this whole thing is tiny, but let me try to zoom in a little bit. I have just stretched the screen in the streamer mode, which is a bad thing because you will not see the bottom. Oh well. I have to undo the zoom. You will not be able to see the bottom. Okay, we have networking now. So what I did is in my previous reboot, I went to the installer and added NetworkManager to my installation and rebooted to the actual installation. And now I have started. I really hope you can read it. I have started NetworkManager now, so I got the internet working, and I have also enabled it so that it auto starts on the next reboot. So let's type the command pacman dash capital S and lower caps YU to update the system to the latest packages, and it says that there are no updates, so this is good. And now let's do the pacman install with the capital S Plasma. And once again, we will be asked for a bunch of questions. 1, 2, fonts, and 509 packages are now being downloaded and installed. So now we can talk in chat while this is being installed. Technically, you should be good to go once you enabled it in systemd. That's what we did. On it many, I agree. Arch is pretty fast. At some point, I will set up Gentoo or Linux from scratch in a VM just for fun. That's pretty much what I intend to do at some point. It's just that I need to find the right moment to fool around with that. I want to learn how it works in detail inside and out eventually. So for Linux users who are not entirely new but already have tried like Debian or Ubuntu, I think Arch is a good step forward to start digging deeper under the hood, because here is where you're going to learn. Actually, here Here is where you're going to actually learn what components are making your system, right? So if you're going to need sound, you're going to use ALSA or something like Pipewire that will bring you ALSA and connections with jack system. This starts to begin to be interesting, but also there is a lot of automation in Arch Linux, and a lot of things will just work after you cross this point where we are now. The most difficult part is literally behind us at this point. So what we are doing now, I have pulled Plasma package, which is pulling a lot of other stuff that are needed for Plasma to be working. It is pulling audio system, it is pulling Wayland and X graphics system. It will pull graphics drivers that is Mesa drivers, not the actual graphics drivers. Those are in the kernel because we are using Intel graphics card. And we're finished. So now we need a display manager if we want to log in a neat way. So we need SDDM. You will find that instructions on the Arch Wiki, but let's just pull it like this: pacman SDDM for a display manager, and let's install that one. And systemctl enable SDDM, so it auto starts on our next reboot, but we don't have a user yet. So let's add a user. Add user. Okay. To the wheel group so that we can sudo. Is it a or group? Group. Oh, group password. I'm not reading what I'm doing. Okay. We need a password for that guy. I suppose we are good. And I have moved the wrong screen again. Display, HDMI. Okay, now we want systemctl start SDDM. Why does it not start? Where did I make a mistake? Thank you, saved my ass. And there we go. Display configuration, let's just check me. Okay, we are 125 zoom, that should be good. Also, the unify screens is much better on Plasma 6. I like this. Welcome to Plasma. We can skip welcoming, being welcomed to Plasma. What do we want to do? What do we want to do with our fresh Arch install? We don't have. How come we don't have console? We don't want console from FlatHub. Why don't we have console? I thought that I installed everything. Neofetch, of course. Yeah, but we need console first. Control Alt F something like F4 to go back to the console. And Control Alt F2, is it, or 3? Or 1? Oh, it's 1, okay. To go back to the X or Wayland session console. Okay, now console is installed. Sudo pacman -s neofetch. We don't have sudo. Okay, now we have sudo. There we go. Dart is not in sudoers file. Okay, this needs fixing. Ta-da! There we go. Plasma doesn't include actual apps. You will need to install Dolphin Kate console from terminal. I think there should be. Let me see. Pacman -s Plasma. There was another package. Plasma Meta. This is not installing anything new. There is another one. Plasma Desktop. This has also installed nothing new. So did I not install the package called Plasma the first time? Now I run it again and now it has added more stuff. No, it's just reinstalling, sorry. This was just a reinstall. Plasma reference package group. I'm pretty sure there was a meta package. Oh, KDE, all applications, yeah, KDE applications meta. Okay, I found it. KDE applications meta. That might be a mistake to install, and I would recommend you all to just install what you actually need. I'm just looking for where is English. I don't know. Let's go with Croatian. I don't care. Okay, this will pull a bunch of KDE applications, which will be nice for a presentation here on stream. But don't do that on your install. Just install what you actually need. I said I only installed Arch 2 times so far, and that was half a year ago. So it's perfectly fine to make plenty of mistakes, in my opinion, as long as you're willing to learn. Because if you're one of those people who will fail in installing Arch and then wipe the hard drive and begin from scratch, then Arch Linux might not be completely ideal for you, as it is a system that will expect from you to actually learn Linux, because the whole idea is to, you know, fix stuff if it breaks. And usually you're the one who is going to break it, because when you use Pacman for updates, a lot of packages, when being upgraded to a vastly newer version, will warn you about what has changed in the meantime and what are steps required from you to continue having a fully functional system without breaking it. The most common way to break Arch is to upgrade the system and not read what your screen says and just answer yes to all. So that's a mistake. We have installed a lot of stuff. We need a web browser. Okay, we have a web browser. We need a game. What is called the game? Tux. Super Mario clone. Tux, Super Tux. Super Tux. Okay, so when you put the capital S and the lower caps S together, that is search, so that you can see which package you are looking for. And we're going to install SuperTux now. Open source fiddler, I'm impatient, and if something is not working for me since the beginning, I tend to give up, like with the Pinebook. Well, it is what it is. You can always use Ubuntu. SuperTux. Start the game. Story mode. Airstrike Ivanov, I jumped into Linux for real like 5 or so years ago and went straight into Arch. Took me 2 full days to get it installed right the first time, but I did it. Rolling on the floor laughing. It's very nice to read that. My stream is 30 FPS, so this might not look very pretty on stream, but on my end it's super smooth. Do you have something else that you want me to install on Arch? I mean, it's pretty functional at this point. Maybe maybe Carl has some extra questions. I'm very happy to answer whatever I feel that I can. Hyprland? Liampas says Hyprland. Yeah, we can do Hyprland. Where is my pointer? Okay, so once you're in Arch Linux, basically you use pacman minus capital and smaller s, and you type hyper, and then you will get the list of all the packages that contain the word hyper. So basically I would just advise to install everything that is Hyprland based. So starting with hyper cursor, pacman install hyper cursor. Let me just see. Okay, hyper graphics, hyper idle, Hyprland. I'm not sure if Hyprland will pull all of them together or not, but just install everything because you will need it. Hyprland Qt utils hyperlang. I don't think this is needed, but let's just take everything. Hyperlock, this is the lock screen, of course. Hyperpaper, this is the wallpaper software. Hyperpicker, hyperutils, hypervalent. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to install it anyway. I mean, I would recommend reading about every single package, what it does, to see if you really need it. I'm just going to cram it into a faster install by installing everything. XDG desktop portal Hyprland. This one is important for screenshot, screen recording, OBS, and all those kinds of things. We need pacman -s waybar. We need waybar. Thank you for reminding me. And we also need what the default terminal is called, kitty. Kitty. Okay, we need kitty. And at this point, I would say that we are ready to try Hyprland. Close the window, log out of our session. Okay, on the SDDM picker, you will choose Hyprland, up left corner, and just log in, like always. Okay, so you are not seeing exactly what I'm seeing because the screens are not synced. But at this point, you can press super button, which is the one with a Windows sign, super button, and Q to get the KDE. Oh, you can see now. Okay, so it says that you're not using the any configuration file. So just type super and Q to get the terminal working. And I'm not sure which command is to zoom in on the terminal, but let's just edit the config file. cd.config, and we need to go to the cd.hyper. We don't have Hyprland. Make directory dot, no, sorry, it's cd hyper. Oh, we have Hyprland. Okay. And we have the default configuration. This is very good. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to tune our monitors first. But first we can get rid of the message on the top of the screen. We are going to do that by removing this line auto-generated, and as soon as you save it, it will be gone because Hyprland config file is working live. As soon as you press save, everything gets applied. So monitors is the first thing that you want to do. We are having two monitors at this point, which is fine. I suppose I can work on your monitor on the stream. The way this works is you can click on the link here that will take you to the documentation for how to configure monitors. So just hold the control button and click on this, and it will open. Maybe control is not needed, but it will open your browser, right? Okay, so the general configuration for a monitor says monitor equals name of the monitor, resolution, position, and scale. So the name of the default monitor. Sorry, Kyle, as you can see when I clicked the link, my terminal got shrinked and the browser opened in the rest of the 50% of the screen. This is called tiling. It is the like default behavior of the automatic tiling. It just let me show you. When I open another terminal, I'm just gonna press Windows Q, and it opens up another terminal and another and another and another. This is automatic tiling. Okay. So I'm just gonna press Windows C to close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one, and close this one. So this is how it works. It's automatic tiling, and you always use the whole screen. It's in my opinion, this is practical for smaller screens, but this is just my personal opinion. My main screen is 42-inch, and I don't like tiling on that one. I like my main work to be in the center of the screen, and this is not very practical with tiling. Okay, so it says monitor equals comma. This means that the first example, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse. I don't think that you can see my mouse, or you can. You should be able to see my mouse. The name of the monitor is not defined. So what that means is that it automatically detects every next monitor that you hook up. If you want to have a very specific fixed set of monitors, then you need to know what your monitors are called, where they are plugged into which port of your graphics card, and then you can make a really fixed setup. So whenever you plug in this particular monitor, into Hyprland, it will always call the exact same configuration as you would expect for that particular monitor. So for example, more zoomed in, more zoomed out, this resolutions or that resolution. So this is by default using any monitor. Resolution is being preferred. Position is being preferred. What position means is that where the monitors are positioned, one above the other, one next to another, you know, or slightly offset, or however you want them to be. So this is all automatic, and this is all perfectly fine for this stream. And the scale is automatic. The scale means how much you zoom in. So one parameter, 2, 3, 4. So the fourth one is scale. So this is the first parameter, second parameter, third parameter, and the fourth parameter. So if you want the scale not to be automatic, then you can just type 1 for the 100% zoom, and when I press save, it will unzoom everything to 100%. If you press 1.5, it will zoom in to 150%, which is exactly what happened now, and this is more convenient for the stream because you need to see what I'm doing. So what we need to do next, we can go through the default configuration, but monitor is something that is fairly important. By default, it uses terminal called KDE. This is something that I have already installed. This is what you call by default key combination Windows or super key and Q. File manager is Dolphin. You call that one with super and E. Let me show it to you. Super and E calls Dolphin file manager, so you can use the file manager. Closing programs is being done with super and C, like that, and it's gone. Menu calls Wofi, and I don't think that's installed, but this one is called via super key and R. Let's try it, but I don't think this is installed. R does exactly nothing. Okay, let's install Wofi. Pacman minus S. Actually, let's not install Wofi, let's install Rofi. I like that one more. Rofi, unless you're root. Why am I not root? Pacman minus S Rofi. Okay, let's install both. Wofi, yes. Let's do another terminal, so we have one root and one normal user. Nano.config hyper and hyperlet config, and let's go to where the Wofi was defined. Okay, let's go with Rofi and save, and now press super and R. Why is it not working? What about this one? This one works. Okay, this needs a little bit of tuning, but basically what both Wofi and Rofi applications do is you just call them with super and R, and then you can call an application like, I don't know, calculator, and that's how you run applications on a tiling window manager, usually by typing. Usually by calling Wofi, Rofi, or similar finder type of application, and then typing the first few letters of the application that you wish to call, unless you configure your system to use some other shortcuts, so that you can use literally just shortcuts to call your favorite applications that you always run. Such as is the file manager that is being literally called by clicking the super and E. which is something that I have already demonstrated. This is tiling window managers are not something that will come out of the box functional for pretty much nobody, and it is expected of you to have the willpower and the desire to configure it to your own needs. And this is something that you will do by reading a lot of documentation, looking at a lot of examples of the dot files of other people, how they did it, and etc. And let me just go through the auto start. So in auto start, by default, it can run the terminal for you if you want on the first run. NM applet, we don't have that installed. We can do it now. I think that's the system tray. SNM applet. Let me just check. What's it called? NetworkManager applet. The file is called NetworkManager applet. Okay. Okay, now we have NM applet. Okay, this is something that we are going to need. We can automatically launch the terminal. We can automatically launch Waybar and Hyperpaper and Firefox. This all seems reasonable for automatic launching. We are going to need to configure Waybar, and I'm going to explain what that is, but it is pretty essential for a tiling window manager. Look and feel, gaps, colors, all kinds of things. This is all very... This is nothing really important for this stream. This is for a very personal, taste. Variables, animations, layers, workspaces. Nothing here is very relevant unless you want to change the keyboard. Key bindings. Key bindings are very, very important in the tiling window manager. So by default, they are giving you super plus Q to execute the terminal, C to kill the focused window, M to kill the entire session, E to execute file manager, V to toggle window to become a floating window. So let me show you what that does. Super V to toggle. How they put you need to hold the super button and the right mouse button, or the left mouse button. Okay, the left one. So now it's kind of a floating, right? And then you can press super and V to attach it back into the tiling area. Also, if you need more space in the web browser, you can hold the super button and right mouse button and just resize stuff like this on the fly. Super plus R executes the menu. P, I have no idea what this is. J, toggle split. I don't know what that does. It doesn't really matter at this point. Bindings. Okay, this is for moving between workspaces, not important at this point. Now we need to see if Waybar even works without a configuration. Waybar. It actually does work. Okay, it will complain about various stuff because you need to configure it, but the basic stuff actually works. Let's see if we can change the workspaces. Like super plus 2. Yeah, we can. So super plus 1 is the desktop. Where is my pointer? Super plus 1 is the desktop. I got lost because I have two monitors. But basically, you have more than one desktop, right? So this is... What you're seeing now is desktop 2. What you're seeing now is desktop 3. and desktop 1 is on my laptop, and this is something that you cannot see. So if you go to the third screen, you can call one big terminal here, or maybe let's kill the terminal and let's go back to the second screen and focus on the Firefox and press Super Shift and 3. And what this does, it moves the Firefox from the second workspace to the third workspace. So now what I have is I have Firefox in my third workspace, and I can switch with Super and 2 and 3 buttons between second and third workspace if I need a web browser, or if I want to work on my terminals, right? This is how it works. The reason why there is super weird glitchy signs above is because these waybar modules, the bar on the top is called waybar. It basically shows you some useful information about your system, and you can configure it to your heart's desire. The reason why there are some hieroglyphic symbols is because it is trying to show my battery status, which is here, and my CPU here, by using a font that I don't have installed. And the way we can fix that is by going to Firefox and saying waybar missing font Arch Linux. I have no idea what the name of the font is. Missing icons on waybar. This should font awesome. OTF font awesome, or nerd font. Let's install both. OTF font awesome. Okay, let's kill waybar and start it again. And there we go. The icons are now fixed. It was called OTF font awesome. Let me just kill the whole session so you can see what it looks like when you log in cleanly. So let's just press Super and M. This is going to nuke my session and go back to the login manager. We already have Hyprland picked here, and we'll type my password. This is going to call waybar above and one terminal and one web browser. And all of this actually happened, but on the wrong screen. It happened on the first screen, right? Because the first screen is on my laptop. So let me just move the Firefox to the second screen, and let me move my already opened terminal to the second screen. So that's pretty much it.